YouTube! It is always a wonderful, beautiful day when you wake up and there's new Harry Potter news waiting for you. This has happened a lot this year, I feel like, between J.K. Rowling's new books that she sprung on us, and the movie, and the play, and Diagon Alley being expanded at the theme park. There has just been so much great Harry Potter news. What a time to be alive and a Potter fan. I'm loving it. But today we woke up to even more Harry Potter news, and I had to just turn on my camera and immediately give you my reaction, having just read this new article that the Daily Prophet published on Pottermore covering the 2014 Quidditch World Cup. If you don't know what I'm talking about yet, I put a link down below to where you can read it. Go read that, come back, because I'm gonna spoil everything right now. This is your warning. I loved this article. I loved getting a glimpse into Harry's life, especially because it's taking place right now. Harry turned 34 this year, in line with the books and the actual timeline in which they take place. So this is the actual Quidditch World Cup that's happening right now. I love knowing that if this article had come out in the prime Wizard Rock days, there would be a band called the Bent Winged Snitches by the end of the week. That probably won't happen now, but maybe it will. Who knows? I also really like that this is basically one of the first glimpses that we've had at the American wizarding world, and that we get it in the form of a controversial band. Go America. I liked this glimpse at how the world views Harry now, all of these years later. I really like that that group of people is still called Dumbledore's Army, that became a nationally recognized phrase. I also really like knowing that people still call Harry the Chosen One. Harry probably doesn't like it, but it makes me laugh and I really like it. I guess I always sort of assumed that Harry would sort of live a quiet life after all of this. I know he always wanted to be an Auror, but that was before he knew really to the extent how extreme his battle with He Who Must Not Be Named would be. And I kind of imagine that after that he'd sort of just like get a vacation home and invite all of Dumbledore's army to come visit. And I guess that was like a pretty naive thought. And so I really liked the part about the cut on his face and how it was probably from some sort of recent Auror thing, but also how Rita went into this whole speculative garbage about maybe it was something having to do with Ginny. We'll get into that. But basically I just like knowing that Harry's still getting his aggression out in positive ways, but also that there's potentially still evil afoot. But we don't know what. I mean, we didn't really delve into too much of what else Aurors would even really need to fight without Voldemort and the Death Eaters. Obviously, Aurors had been around and wizards had been fighting dark magic since long before Voldemort. He didn't invent being evil, but he was such a prominent negative force in the books that you don't really even think about what else there could be out there. And I don't know if we're ever gonna find out, but I really like the idea of a different villain, like someone else or something else. I hadn't even thought about that, like what would be next, who would be next, and this tiny, tiny little glimpse in the form of just a cut on Harry's face is enough to like totally make my brain go crazy. And man, I can't wait for fan fiction that comes out after this story. I also really like that Ron took over for Fred with Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. I know that he wanted to be an Auror and all of that, but you know, he did it for about 2 years and then quit. I mean, I don't even know if he was an Auror. It just said that he had a job at the Ministry with Harry. Harry's an Auror, so I just assumed that Ron was also an Auror. Rita even said maybe Ron didn't like being in Potter's shadow, but honestly, I think maybe there's some truth to that. I think that Ron will sort of always be second to Harry in that realm, but being able to help manage this family business with George and not leaving George alone after the loss of his twin. I don't know, I think that was a good move for Ron. I did really like how Rita Skeeter jumped to the mental illness card after, I think the quote was just that his days fighting He Who Must Not Be Named took a toll on him, and Rita Skeeter was like, must be mental illness. We don't know, we aren't allowed to get close enough to find out. Is that suspicious? I really just hate that I love how much I'm reading into these things that Rita Skeeter is saying, because we are literally being forced to see this world from the other side for once. In this article, J.K. Rowling made very certain that we are getting the amount of information that a normal witch and wizard in the wizarding world would get. We are getting no more information than the average person who subscribes to the Daily Prophet after years and years of having the privilege of seeing everything from Harry's point of view, literally being part of that inner circle. It's all speculative and you have to wade through the BS that Rita Skeeter is giving us, and I love it. It feels really accurate. You know, we were with Harry for his journey, the books are over, we've all accepted that, and J.K. Rowling keeps giving us these extra little tidbits, but she's not letting us have them in the way that we're used to, the way that we had them with the books, and that it is this sort of voyeuristic view at this boy's life as he grows into a man, past the point that we were supposed to be able to journey with him. And although I would love to know what's actually going on, I also kind of like that this is all we get. I think because we're so desperate for more, because we're desperate for more books, more information, what are these characters doing, that we're really actually willing to read into the things that Rita Skeeter's saying. Like the thing about Ginny cursing Harry's face. I'm like, yeah, did she? Maybe she did. I don't know. I want to know. Oh, maybe Ginny's going off on these like trysts to meet Draco when she's leaving her family to travel. That's just the hopeful Draco-Ginny shipper in me. That's all that is. Then I remember that this is written by Rita effing Skeeter, and it pulls me back to reality and reminds me, oh wait, don't believe anything she says. Harry and Ginny are probably fine. This article is brilliant. Damn you, J.K. Rowling, for giving us news in the form of a Rita Skeeter article. Damn you. Okay, going back to the article, a few more things. Apparently Neville and his wife, Hannah, are drunks. Doesn't really bother me, kind of into that theory. Also, I am happy to see that Teddy Lupin is keeping the Marauder spirit alive, and I'm just happy that him and Victoire just make out all the time. I don't think enough people in this book really get enough action ever, so power to ya. I really loved that final paragraph when Rita starts it with the sentence, "One always hesitates to invade the privacy of young people." Really, Rita Skeeter? Really? One hesitates when invading the privacy of young people? Overall, I loved this article. It was just such a beautiful, wonderful thing to wake up to. I love that no matter what, I just feel like J.K. Rowling is not gonna just turn her back on Harry Potter. I feel like she's as big of a fan as this story as we are, and she just can't help but keep adding to it, and I'm not upset about that at all. I'm happy about it. And dear God, if Dumbledore's Army, The Dark Side of the Demob is not a real book that comes out on July 31st, I swear to God, I'm gonna freak out. You can't toy with my emotions like this, Joe. You just can't. Give us that book! Let me know your thoughts about this article down below, how it made you feel, just put all the feels down below. I love being a Harry Potter fan. That's something about me that's never gonna change. I love that there's so many of you out there that probably feel just as excited and fan-ish as I do when this stuff happens. So thanks for sharing that with me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.